So we are going to talk about question 10. So for question 10, you can think it is just like an essay question, okay? But it only contains 5 marks, so it will be a half essay question, because if we have 5 more marks and then we also have the 3 or 2 to 3 marks for the communication, okay, so it will be definitely an essay question, okay, so it will be just a half, okay. So the question is that we need to discuss how the arrangement of the photosynthetic cells in the leaf, okay, and the arrangement can help the plants or enables the leaves to serve as a photosynthetic organ. So before I talk about it, okay, I would like to mention, okay, what is organ, okay? At least you should know it before, because organs consist of many tissues working together. So, okay, so for the leaf structure, okay, if we only talk about one palisade mesophyll cells, of course it's just a cell. But if we have many palisade mesophyll cells working together, it will be a tissue. The same concept, okay, if we only have one spongy mesophyll cells, okay, so of course it's just a cell. But if all these spongy mesophyll cells, they group together and work together, they will be a tissue. And same logics for the xylem vessel and also the phloem vessels. So they are also the tissues. So also including the upper epidermal cells, okay, and also the lower epidermal cells or the gut cells, something like this. So actually, the different types of tissues, they are working together. So that's why the leaf is a kind of organ. Okay, so we go back to the question. So first of all, we need to recall the photosynthetic cells. That means the palisade mesophyll cells and also the spongy mesophyll cells. Okay, but the concept is that the focus would be how can they help in photosynthesis. Okay, so according to the question, okay, especially the second part, okay, enable the leaf to serve as a photosynthetic organ, okay, and also we need to talk about the arrangement. So actually this question, okay, for the word, okay, I always talk about it, that will be the adaptive features, okay, but in this question it just did not use this word, but actually is asking the adaptive features of the photosynthetic cells, okay, for the function of photosynthesis, okay. So that's why we need to link the structure and the function together. I talk about it many times, okay. But this part, okay, the focus will be the arrangement of the photosynthetic cells. We are not talking about the structure of the photosynthetic cells, okay. So that means if you want to mention that, oh, there are so many chloroplasts in the palisade mesophyll cells, and then it will help the palisade mesophyll cells to absorb light for photosynthesis, it will be irrelevant, because I'm not talking about the structure of the cell. I'm just talking about the arrangement of the photosynthetic cells in the leaf, okay. So for this part, link the structure should be the leaf, okay, to the function, of course, also for the leaf, okay. So the hints will be the relative position of the cells, okay, palisade mesophyll cells and the spongy mesophyll cells, okay, where are they, okay, in the leaf exactly, okay. And also the second one will be the arrangement of the cells in the leaf, closely packed or loosely packed, okay, which one is closely packed and which one is loosely packed, okay, and how can they enable the leaf, okay, to undergo or to perform the photosynthesis. Now remember that, don't just tell me the relative position and then the arrangement and then full stop. You need to tell me how these features can help the plants, okay, to carry out photosynthesis. Okay, remember that what we need is how, okay, but not just the factual thing, okay. So for question number 14, okay, it's talking about the reticular, okay. So in this part, the reticular, it will affect the plant, the oxygen uptake and oxygen release. So in this question, I would like to recall the concept of compensation point, okay. So that's why this blue line and this zero, okay, I will talk more about this first, okay. So for this part, the zero, okay, what is the meaning of this. Okay, it means the compensation point. That means the rate of respiration is equal to the rate of photosynthesis. Okay, so and then for the compensation point, that there is no net gaseous exchange in the plant. So that means the plant will not have a net oxygen release, okay, to the atmosphere, or there will not be a net oxygen uptake from the atmosphere. Okay, but what is the meaning of it? Okay, above zero, the net oxygen release, okay, that means the rate of photosynthesis is higher than that of the respiration. Okay, and below zero, that will be the net oxygen uptake. That means the photosynthesis, the rate is lower than the rate of the respiration, or just like at night, okay, when it is dark, okay, so only respiration will take place. Okay, so that's the concepts. So and then for the questions, okay, we go back to the questions. Describe and explain the result. So there will be two parts. Okay, we need to describe and explain the result of the two untreated plants. Okay, in night or in the dark. Okay, and then we need to describe and explain the result of the two treated plants. Okay, by the reticular. Okay, also in the night and also in the dark. Okay, so remember that describe and explain. Okay, don't just describe the chart. Okay, for example, if you only talk about that for the untreated plants in the light, okay, it will have a net oxygen release, full stop. Now you describe it, yes, I agree, but you did not explain it. Okay, so remember that you should say that the untreated plants in the night, okay, it will have a net oxygen release because something, since something, or due to something, okay, for explanation. Okay, so that's something you need to know, and that will be the format, okay, of the structure, okay, some scaffolding provided to you. Okay, so description and explanation for the untreated plants. Okay, so what you need to do is that choose the correct word, okay, based on the observation in the chart. Okay, untreated plants use or release oxygen in the night by what? By respiration or by photosynthesis. Okay, you need to tell me the answer. Okay, and also for the second one will be the description and explanation for the treated plants. Okay, also in the night or in the dark, but actually you can refer to the chart. Okay, actually they have the same result at all. Okay, so it will be a description, okay, for the plants, okay, at the same time. So for the treated plant, okay, they do not use or release oxygen, or you have another type, okay, of the expression is that all the plants, the treated plants, they only use or release oxygen. Okay, and then remember to explain what is the meaning of the chart. Okay, so that means the plant, they must not be able to carry out something, okay, or so the plant, they only carry out something, okay, so you need to tell me the answer, okay, based on the observation of the chart. Okay, so that's part A of the question 14. So for the part B, okay, it's talking about the effect of the treatment of the reticular on the corpus structure. Okay, so actually you know that why this chemical can be a reticular, because it will affect the structure of the corpus. Okay, but what is the effect? You can observe it by these two diagrams. Okay, so that's the original, the normal corpus, okay, from the untreated plants, and also you have the treated plants. Okay, so for the first part of the question, to describe two changes in the structure of the corpus, it will be very easy because you can simply observe this. Okay, for the thylakoid, for the ribosome, okay, for the starch granule, you can see that all of them, okay, they are gone, or the amount, okay, will be greatly decreased, right? Okay, so at least you know that this free structure will be our target. Now for the stroma, because it's just a space, okay, so actually you cannot have any significant observation, but for this part you can. And for the question, it's very good. Other than the absence of starch granule, okay, that means this part, okay, the question did it for you already. So that means the two changes in the structure will be ribosome and thylakoid. Okay, but you need to describe the changes, okay, but not just describe the structure. Or the thylakoid and the ribosomes, they will be affected. I know, but what is the changes? You need to tell me. Okay, so that's the description. And then explain how each change would affect the photosynthesis. That will be our second part of this question. So in this part, you need to recall the concept, okay, the functions of these two structures. So for the thylakoid, okay, how is it involved in the photosynthesis? Of course, we know that we can check from the textbook. Okay, so thylakoid is responsible for light absorption. Okay, but don't just say it. Don't be so lazy and say, oh, thylakoid is responsible for light absorption and then it will affect the photosynthesis. I know it, but I need to know the detailed mechanism. So you need to tell me that the thylakoid absorbs light for what? Okay, and how can it relate to the photosynthesis? Okay, you need to tell me this. And for the second one will be, how is the ribosome involved in the biochemical reaction? So of course, you know that photosynthesis is a kind of biochemical reaction, which means that the chemical reaction taking place in the organism. So that's the bio, living things, right? Okay, chemical reactions. So for the ribosome, according to the concept of the chapter of cell structure, you should know that. Okay, so ribosome, they are responsible for making protein. Okay, so for protein synthesis, so any function of protein in the plants, and this function should be related to the photosynthesis. Okay, this type of biochemical reactions. Okay, so that's something you need to know. So at least from this question, okay, about the question you need to know, I want you to really understand that, you really realize that biology, okay, there's all the topics, they can be related to each other. Okay, photosynthesis, that's the chapter 21 already. So that means before that we have already taught, we have already learned for 20 chapters. Okay, so it's really the time for you to connect all the knowledge you have learned before. Remember that, okay, when we are doing the question for photosynthesis, we do not only doing the question of this chapter, this reaction, there's something related to the cell structure of chloroplast. Okay, that's related to the structure of ribosomes. Okay, it's even talking about the enzymes in the biochemical reaction. Okay, so that's the general picture of the questions we are going to do in this chapter. Okay, so if you have any questions, so please leave your question in the message box below. Okay, so bye bye.